is our last lesson for Star Wars week. Hello, everyone. It is not Wednesday. It's Thursday, May 7th. This is my new technology here. It's my blue light glasses because I've been looking at the screen so much that these focals right here are supposed to help your eyes. So we have this going on. Miss Chris and I have these, so there seem to be a good tool. They're working out. Welcome, everyone. This is writing lesson number 3. There's Brody. We have Rosie Roman over there. As you can see, it is our Star Wars week writing lesson, just from the themes that you'll see. The video clips throughout this whole lesson will, I'm sure, be Star Wars themed. Okay, we are going to extend today our basic personal sequence narratives that hopefully you guys wrote by adding relevant fact details. Pretty cool stuff. This is going to elaborate, make our writing even richer than it already is. If you haven't written that basic personal sequence narrative, pause this video, go back to our second lesson, watch that video, write your personal sequence narrative. Miss Ebony and I are happy to look it over for you because it's important. We're going to need that work to participate in this lesson. Because as you'll see, I'm going to model how to add those relevant fact details using the personal sequence narrative that Brother Steven and I made, making those Loquat Gummy Candies. I only have one left. I need to make another batch. Welcome, everyone. Again, we have writing lesson number 3 today. It is Thursday, May 7th, last day of our Star Wars week. If you need a snack, as always, this is our virtual classroom, so you can just pause us, go get that snack. If you need to wake up and go for a sprint, go get those wiggles out, go do it. This can be done at your leisure. We just ask that you do this lesson before you do the next lesson, and you have a week to do it. Okay, as always, we're going to go into our virtual PowerPoint. You guys are going to see how we're going to add relevant fact details to really extend and elaborate on our personal sequence narratives we wrote last week. And I'm really excited to see what you guys write. See you in the PowerPoint. May the Force be with us. Hello and welcome, everyone, to our virtual PowerPoint writing lesson number 3. We are going to add relevant fact details to our personal sequence narratives. Let's do it. Okay, our learning targets today. We are going to review basic personal sequence narratives, review what we did last week. We are going to review nouns. It's connected to our relevant fact details, I promise. We need to know what a noun is in order to expand our PSNs using relevant fact details. Then I'm going to show you guys how we are going to execute expanding our personal sequence narrative with those relevant fact details. There's a strategy to it. So here's our target. Again, personal sequence narratives, I like to think about it as, what's your story? They're the first person, using the I voice, it's a first person recollection of a real or world memorable experience. The examples we used last time, your first bike ride, or a specific event in a larger experience, a beach story when I was caught in a riptide, or a beach story when I saw a dolphin. It recalls a chain of events that convey to the reader the drama or the detail of the experience, and it has an ending and a resolution that describes how you felt at the end of that experience. It's your story. It helps us build our use of words, precise words, like time, setting, context. It helps us with our fluent sentence formation, connecting those ideas, and it helps us add rich detail to our writing. They're important work. We want to really, really get these solid. What PSN did you guys write about? Please send them along. I haven't seen much yet, but I'm really excited to. Remember, if you haven't done the second writing lesson yet, pause this now, go back to that, and do this at another time, because it's important that you have your PSNs ready to add those relevant fact details too. Again, this is just another note from us. If you haven't written your PSN yet, pause. Pause here and go write it. You can watch lesson number 2 again. They're always there for you guys. You got this. I know you do, and I'm always here. Miss Ebony's always here if you want to write it together, if you want to talk about it at all. Here's the example I gave last time. You'll find this still in the seesaw activity. You have your topic sentence. You have all of these sentence starters. That's the structure it follows. First, then, next, after, finally, all in all. That's going to be your home base for each sentence. Then we're going to add to these sentences today. This is also in your seesaw. This is the structure. All you need to do is add here. This is where you write. You add here. And starting all your sentences with first, this happened, then, next, after that, finally, all in all. Takes your reader through that experience. You're narrating that experience that was memorable for you. Here are the directions. Again, that's on there. I won't go through these again. But if you're still at the beginning stages of writing your PSN, again, watch video number 2. This is how you do it. And remember, after you watch that number 2 video, or part of it, Stephen and I made a video to go along with our PSN. You guys are also welcome to do that. I titled it Spending Time with My Big Brother. The morning we made Loquat Gummies, and it follows that structure. Okay, we are going to shoot for the stars today. Today we will work on expanding our thoughts and identify additional information to support and elaborate our basic personal sequence narratives by adding relevant fact details. This is a great strategy to add into our writing skills repertoire, our toolbox, the strategy of adding relevant fact details. Relevant fact details will add meaning to our stories, and there's a strategy to this. This is just supposed to show detail. It's a very detailed picture. So, a relevant fact detail is a complete sentence that expands on the features of a key noun or a key concept in the preceding sentence. That's a big vocab word. Preceding means before. The sentence that comes before. You identify key nouns and concepts from the sentence before, and you write a complete sentence to elaborate on those key nouns or concepts. But first, as I told you, nouns are very important. We have to be able, in order to identify nouns in the preceding sentence, we have to know what a noun is. So let's get into it. Let's review. What is a noun? Think to yourself. This is our think time. Think to yourself, what has Miss Mel taught me? Remember, nouns are people or living creatures. So like Dr. B or dogs. We want to get away from the word things. We don't want to use things. That's what we learned when we were younger. We don't want to use things. But we have people, living creatures, places like Disney World or events like birthdays, objects like a pencil, and ideas like invention of the wheel. Nouns involve our senses. What can we see? Right now, I can see Brody lying down. I see a chair. I see a pillow. What can we touch? I'm touching the table. I'm touching my Apple pen. What can we hear? I hear the laundry going upstairs. What can we smell? I just made fresh chive cheddar, vegan, gluten-free biscuits. I can smell those. That's a noun. What can we taste? I'm excited to taste those biscuits. Maybe we'll have some ice cream later. So it involves all of our senses. Nouns come in all shapes and sizes. Humongous, minuscule, square, rectangular, circular, oval. Nouns can be animate, meaning they're alive, like this pup with cool sunglasses, or inanimate, like not alive, clouds. Maybe that's one of you guys sending an email right now. We did this activity before. We listed as many nouns as we could from following pictures. We did this back at school. We looked at this picture. We have our objects: backpack, rock, jacket, hair, grass, tusks, water, clouds, land, sky. Our people and living creatures are that big elephant and our person. Places, he's by the ocean front. Wilderness, the encounter between them is a noun. And ideas and inventions, it's a fantasy world. I remember a student saying it was a fantasy world. Maybe it's a dream state. Those are all nouns. Back to our personal sequence narratives. That's a noun. If you guys want, I'm going to be doing, next week we'll be adding adjective details, and I can do a big review of parts of speech the following week after that. Just let me know, and I'm happy to create a lesson around that. Okay, so strategy. Again, I'm going to repeat. A relevant fact detail is a complete sentence that expands on features of a key noun or concept in the preceding sentence. So this is what you do. First, identify the important nouns or concepts in a sentence. Brainstorm associations and connections related to those nouns or concepts. So think about what is related to those nouns or key concepts. What can you add on? Ask yourself, what fact can I add? Let's do it. I'm going to show you how to do this using my PSN from last week. Spending time with my big brother the morning we made Loquat Gummies. Okay, so my topic sentence stays the same. I'm not going to change my topic sentence. Remember, I used the When plus who plus did what plus where formula. This doesn't change. One morning during the state-mandated quarantine, my brother and I made loquat gummy candies at his house. That stays the same. Here is that first sentence. Remember, using that structure, using that word starter first. First, we went outside, grabbed the tall ladder, and started to harvest the loquats. So I'm thinking about key nouns and concepts. Harvest was a key concept in that sentence. That's what we were doing, and we were harvesting the loquats. So now going to here. We had so many ripe loquats that we filled an entire bowl. I thought to myself, I identified harvest and loquats. What associations could I make? Well, I remember we needed an entire bowl, or we needed a big bowl because we had so many that we could fill that bowl. So I'm going to add detail, bring my reader back even a little bit deeper into the experience by writing, we had so many ripe means it's ready for harvest, ripe loquats that we filled the entire bowl. That's how I can add. Here is my concept, here's my noun. Sometimes you'll just have a noun, you'll just have a concept, but you want to take, this is the preceding sentence, and you want to expand on it. And here is the sentence that came after. I just added a whole other sentence to my SN. Here's the next one. Then we went into the kitchen and washed the loquats in the sink. Okay, what are my key nouns and concepts? Well, went to the kitchen and we washed the loquats. What's important there? Go into the kitchen, we washed loquats. I added the sentence, we made sure there was no dirt on any of them because no one wants dirt in their candy. So I'm taking the key concept, which was what we were doing, the action, we were washing them. And we really did. We made sure there was no dirt on them because we didn't want dirt in our candy. So again, I'm adding detail. I'm adding rich narrative experience to bring my reader even further into the moment. Here was my concept and here was my noun. Next, we cut the seed. Remember that. Next, that's how we're starting our sentence. Next, we cut the loquats in half and took out the seeds. In that sentence, the biggest thing there is that we cut the loquats in half and we took out the seeds. And I remember I was surprised. Here's the sentence I'm going to add. I was surprised at how big the seeds were since the loquat is such a small fruit. And thinking to myself, what brainstorming, what are words and associations with the seeds? Well, I remember being surprised because they were so big and the fruit was so small. Adding that detail. From the preceding sentence, I identified, we cut them and the seeds. What can I add? Here's a whole other sentence. After that, we put the loquats in a boiling mix of water and raw maple syrup from Vermont. Okay, I highlighted this whole section, boiling mix of water and raw maple syrup from Vermont. That's what's important from this preceding sentence. The maple syrup helped the loquats caramelize and become sweeter than they already were. I wanted to think about the concept, the action that was going on there, and the noun, and think about how I can expand that for my readers. I wanted to talk to them about that process, adding detail from this preceding sentence to create a whole new sentence, expanding my PSN. Finally, we put them in the oven to dehydrate, there's my concept, for 7 long hours. Whoa, that was a long time. It really was a long time. It took a long time for the moisture to evaporate, leaving yummy gummy candy for us to enjoy. So I elaborated on that process of dehydration, and I told my reader a little bit about the science, about how to dehydrate, what was going on to make these gummy candies dehydrate and take all the moisture out. Remember, using this sentence to create a whole new sentence. All in all, after all of our hard work, we enjoyed our delicious treat. It was amazing. It was so good. I'm sad I have one left. And really, my takeaway from the experience is I can't wait for our next baking adventure. I'm thinking about how I enjoyed that delicious treat, and it really made me, the impression I was left with is that I couldn't wait for our next baking adventure. I took all of those sentences, and here, the orange is my original sentences. I'm sorry, not the orange. This was my topic sentence. Let me erase here. Okay, let's go like this. Use a different color. Here is my topic sentence. Topic sentence. Here we have, when you see the blue and the black, that was my first sentence that I wrote. And every time you see, maybe I have a highlighter here, let me see. Every time
you see orange, that's the sentence I added. Besides this topic sentence, I'll even circle that. Besides, this is the topic sentence. That's the topic sentence. Every time you see orange, we had so many right loquats, we filled an entire bowl. Those are all the sentences I was able to add to my PSN, adding such detail, bringing my reader further into the experience. And I put it all together, and look what we're left with. I'm very, very excited about this. Okay, see you back in the virtual classroom. May the force be with us. See you there. Star Wars week.
Welcome back, everyone, to our virtual classroom. Okay, go do it. If you want to right now, or if you want to play outside and do it later, that's okay. Remember, beauty of virtual classroom. So please email us, call us if you have any questions. What you'll do is go to add response, copy and paste the PSN you wrote last time into here, and add those relevant fact details. It's pretty structured out for you. Again, though, if you have any questions, please send us a drone, send us the force. We'll get your questions using the force, and we will answer them. May the force be with you. See you next week.